ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि Om. So we were studying the Adhyasa Bhashya, introduction of Shankaracharya to his commentary on the Brahma Sutras. So we saw how Shankaracharya said that yes, it is true that it is only because of Adhyasa that all our activities in this world are taking place. Because unless there is this consciousness of being an agent of knowledge, unless one can understand the different means of knowledge used or proof of knowledge used, like pramana, which is called pramana, pratyaksha, anumana, etc., unless one can understand the locus where the body is situated, and unless one has the idea of I and mine, without these, a person cannot either be an agent of knowledge or use the sense organs to acquire knowledge or use the sense organs to use one of the 6 methods of knowledge. So these are not possible. And so only a person who is ignorant can perceive one's body and mind and the sense organs. Only a person who is ignorant can find difference in space and so locate one's body in a particular space, in a particular location. And so it is true that it pertains to only those who are ignorant. So all these usage of the 6 methods of knowledge pertain to only a person who is in ignorance, who is under superimposition, who is employing superimposition. That was explained by Shankaracharya. Now he gives another logic, tarka antaram. That means he gives another logic, an alternative logic. What is the alternative logic? Pashu adibihi cha avisheshat. यथा हि पशुवादयः शब्दादिभिः श्रोत्रादीनां संबन्धे सति शब्दादि विज्ञाने प्रतिकूले जाते ततो निवर्तन्ते अनुकूले च प्रवर्तन्ते यथा दण्डः उद्यतकरं पुरुषम् अभिमुखम् उपलभ्य मां हन्तुम् अयमिच्छति इति पलायितुम् आरभते हरिततृण पूर्णपाणिम् उपलभ्य तं प्रति अभिमुखी भवन्ति एवं पुरुषा अपि व्युत्पन्नचित्ताः क्रूरदृष्टीन् आक्रोशतः खड्गोद्यतकरान् बलवतः उपलभ्य ततो निवर्तन्ते तद्विपरीतान् प्रति प्रवर्तन्ते अतः समानः पश्वादिभिः पुरुषाणां प्रमाणप्रमेय व्यवहारः पश्वादीनां च प्रसिद्धः अविवेकपुरसरः प्रत्यक्षादि व्यवहारः तत्सामान्य दर्शनात् व्युत्पत्तिमतामपि पुरुषाणां प्रत्यक्षादि व्यवहार तत्कालः समानः इति निश्चीयते. So this passage, through this passage he gives an alternative logic to prove how this entire transactions, all transactions using the pramana, means of knowledge, and a person being pramatru, that means a person being agent of knowledge, all this is under superimposition, under the influence of superimposition, or in the realm of ignorance. Only it pertains to people who are ignorant. Now he says, Pashu adibihi cha avisheshat. So he says, you see, it is not only I'm talking about human beings. In this respect, there is no difference. Avisheshat. No difference, because of no difference, avisheshat, pashu adibihi cha, also with animals, etc. What do you mean by animals, etc.? That means animals, birds, etc. Means other than human beings. Living beings other than human beings. Pashu adibihi. Pashu means animals, adibihi means etc. So even in the case of animals and other living beings, we don't find any difference. Avisheshaha. Avisheshat, because of non-difference. Yathahi, just like Pashu Adayah, in animals, etc. Again, here you have to understand that animals, birds, etc. Shabda Adibihi, in the case of Shabda Adibihi, sound, etc. What do you mean by sound, etc.? That means we have 5 sense organs. So 5 data we collect: sound, touch, smell, taste, and sight. So all these Shabdadibihi means sound, etc. Shrotradinam. So Shrotra means ears. Adinam means, just like for sound it is ears, for sight it would be eyes, and so on and so forth. So ears, etc. Sambandhe sati, when coming in contact, when this sound, etc. comes in contact with the respective sense organ as ears, etc. Shabdadi Vijnane, by the knowledge, Vijnana, of sound, etc. That means the knowledge of sound, knowledge of touch, etc. Pratikule jate, if that is understood to be, that knowledge is understood to be pratikula or non-conducive, or what you call, it is not non-conducive, that means it is not favorable, unfavorable. When you see, when a animal sees or perceives through their ear, etc., sound and other whatever they perceive, and then they find that that knowledge, such which is perceived through sense organs, is unfavorable. So suppose somebody is standing near fire and you touch, so it will create heat, so heat will be there, so it is unfavorable, fire burns. So what happens? Pratikule jate tatah nivartante, tato nivartante, it runs from there. When it is unfavorable, it runs from there. Nivartante, it moves away from there. Anukule cha pravartante. Anukule, if it is favorable, pravartante, it proceeds towards it. So Shankaracharya gives an example. Yatha, like, for example, dandaha udyatakaram purusham, a person who has raised a stick. Danda means stick. Udyatakaram, hands rising. Udyata means raising. Hands. Purusham, a person who is standing. Abhimukam upalabhya. Upalabhya, having got. Abhimukam, in front. That means seeing a person with a raised stick in front. Mam hantum ayam ichchati. Ayam means this person. Ichchati, desires of mam hantum, to kill me. So this person desires to kill me. The animal thinks, after seeing a person with a raised stick in front of one, that animal thinks, oh, this person wants to kill me. So iti palayitum arabhante. So seeing that animal starts palayitum, running. Arabhante means starts, palayitum, running. Seeing a person with a raised stick. So this is a sight. Through eyes it sees, and it understands that it is unfavorable. The moment it understands it is unfavorable, it gets this idea, oh, this person is wanting to kill me, and it runs. And on the contrary, what happens? Harita means green. Trina means grass. Purna panim. Panim means hands. Purna, full of. So a person who has hands full of green grass. Upalabhya, seeing. Tam prati abhimukhi bhavanti. That animal goes, or cow goes near that. Abhimukhi bhavanti, that person. Tam prati, goes near that person. So when it sees a person with a raised stick, it thinks that, oh, this person is going to beat me. And when it sees a person with grass, green grass in hand, that person, it goes near that person. Evam, similarly, Purushaha api, even human beings also, Vyutpanna Chittaha, a person who has got a cultivated mind. Chitta means cultivated, Chitta means mind. Vyutpanna means cultivated. Vyutpanna Chittaha means cultivated, means a person who has a mind which considers things. Viveka Buddhi, discriminative faculty, a person who actually thinks and considers everything. So vyutpanna chittaha, even people, evam purushaha api, even human beings also, who have a cultivated mind, analytical mind, thinking mind, krura drishtin akroshatah. So what happens when they see krura drishtin, a person with what? Fierce eyes. You are standing in some place and you see that you are going to some place and there are two people standing like this with fierce eyes. So you think that better not to enter this place. There is some serious problem. So you go away. So Vyutpanna. So this, most people are like, only by showing their eyes they try to. So parenting, mostly parenting is done like that. Somebody wants to do something, some child, you just show your eyes like that. More than that you cannot do anything. You know that as a parent it's your limitation. So with eyes and all that you do. And in nursery schools also teachers do like with eyes. So krura drishtin, and seeing that the child understands there is something problematic, we should not venture into this. So krura drishtin, also akroshatah. Akrosha means angry, furious, or shouting. Akroshatah, a person with fierce eyes, a person who is angry, furious, or shouting. Khadga udyata karan, and also a person udyata, raised hands with what? Khadga, sword. A person who has got sword in hands. Balavatah upalabhya, a strong person with either of these qualities or all of these qualities. If you see, then upalabhya, coming in contact with. Tatah nivartante, even human beings, when they see a person who is fierce looking or who is fiercely looking and who is shouting or furious or with some weapon like a sword in hand and very strong, what do? Tatah nivartante, they leave that place, or they try to leave that place. Tad viparitan prati pravartante, and a person who is opposite, that means who is not krura drishti, who is anukampa drishti, means who is very compassionate, sneha drishti, and who is very mridu bhashi, who speaks well, very soft, sweet, etc., and who says please come, welcome, etc. So that person, to that person what? Pravartante, to that person these people will go. So human beings also, they run away from person who is fiercely looking, who is shouting, furious, who has got a weapon in hand like a sword, who is strong, etc. They run away from that person, but they go to a person who has the opposite qualities. Tad viparitan prati pravartante, they go. Atah, therefore, samanah pashu adibhi purushanam pramana prameya vyavaharah. Vyavaharah, the behavior of pashu adibhi, animals and other living beings other than human beings, and purushanam, human beings, pramana prameya vyavaharah, behavior based on means of knowledge and what is known. Pramana is means of knowledge and prameya is what is known. So pramana prameya vyavahara, the behavior which is based on means of knowledge, that is through your sight, etc., and what is known is samana hai. There is no difference between animals and what? Human beings. So that is a fact. Unless you strive to go beyond this body-mind complex, unless you strive to go beyond this mundane phenomenal world, there's no difference between you and the animal. There's no difference.
So I have a question. So sometimes like child doesn't perceive, like human beings have discrimination, and even children, like they are not aware. So for a children, even if you raise a stick, they might take it as a joke. So so I was just curious, but a baby animal, as soon as like a stick is raised, it'll run away. So I was curious, why did he compare animals with human beings? Because human beings have that power of discrimination.
No, even animals also, like when you raise a dog or something, we do see pups. They don't know what is dangerous. So they will go and stand in the edge of this thing. From there they will fall down, but they will go and see. Very curious. Here also recently also we saw a small fellow pup, and that fellow pup is going to the edge. Here it is hilly, so then you have to pull that fellow and come, and later on that fellow understands, oh, if I go there I will fall. So even see, or here we have this langurs, monkeys. Monkeys, two types of monkeys are there. One is regular monkey, the langur. So that langur, they come. So these fellows, the young pups don't understand. Oh, they may do some harm. So they will go and see some what is happening, etc. Later on, they are trained by people or by other animals. Okay, so it is not even in the case of children. That is because of ignorance. So you see what Shankaracharya, yeah, exactly. Your question is a wonderful question. Your question is, why did Shankaracharya bring animals? That is a question. So why did he now bring comparison with animals? What was his point? His point was that all these pramanas, means of knowledge, which we use, they are all based on ignorance. That was his point, and that was what objected. That was what was objected against. So the objection was that how can you say that this is all based on ignorance? Okay, so that is what he says. You see, this pramana, it is not used only by human beings, it is also used by animals. Means of knowledge is used by animals also. So that animals also, when they use that means of those means of knowledge, they get the same idea and they behave in the same way. So here it is not just an animal behaving, it is when an animal is able to understand the means of knowledge. So that is why in the case of Purusha, that means in the case of human beings also, he uses one phrase, Vyutpanna Chittaha. He doesn't say all human beings. So there are human beings who are what you call, who are dumb-witted, so they don't know things, who are retarded, so they don't know things, so they also will act exactly as you said. They will act in a manner like even children don't know the means of, so children are not included here. Only vyutpanna chittaha are included, who have that discriminative analytic faculty. Why is that necessary? Because in our world we do all our transactions using this means of knowledge. We either see but directly perceive, or we use inference, etc., or somebody has told, etc. So there are 6 methods of knowledge, so all these we use. That is how our transactions in the world go. So that is what Shankaracharya is saying, that all that is based on what? Is based on ignorance. Is based on ignorance. Ignorance not in the sense of not knowing how to use these means of knowledge, but ignorance in the sense of not understanding one's true reality. That ignorance. So he says, Atah samanah pashvadibihi purushanam pramana prameya vyavaharah. So it is true. All we do is eat, sleep, and produce children. This is what human beings do. So that is what animals also do. So there is basically no difference. Pashuadinam cha prasiddha aviveka purasara pratyakshadi vyavahara. Now in here Shankaracharya uses a logic tool, a logic tool. What does he do? You see, we have read this sometime in our lives also in school. If you can prove that a particular thing of the same nature is of a particular nature, then all things which fall under that group will also be of the same nature. Suppose you can prove that a magnet can attract anything made of iron, okay, or you just put the magnet there and you some nails it is attracting. So that means what is that nail made of? Iron. So it will attract anything that is made out of iron. That kind of a thing. So here Shankaracharya says that we know Pashuadinam cha prasiddha. It is popularly known. It is popular knowledge. We know. What do we know? Pashuadinam. That the living beings like animals. That means living beings other than human beings. Aviveka purasarah pratyaksha adi vyavaharah. We know that they have purasara externally, aviveka pratyaksha adi vyavaharah. Their behavior, vyavaharah, of pratyaksha adi, perception, etc., is aviveka, is non-discriminative. That we know. Shankaracharya does not even prove that. He says it is popular knowledge. Prasiddha hai. How is that prasiddha hai? For instance, take the case of cow. See, cow, what do? When cow starts milking, they will first give the calf, or in some places they don't even give the calf. What do? They will make a dummy of calf and they will put it there. And the cow will think, and some skin they will put, so the cow will think it is my calf. So you see, we know we are fooled with cow. That's what we do. Or if you see the fields are there, birds come and they peck at the seeds or something. So they spoil the crop. So what do? We have a scarecrow. We have a scarecrow and the birds are duped into thinking that somebody is actually standing there. So all these worldly things we know. By that we know that the animals or other living beings, they do not have the same intelligence or discriminative faculty as human beings. So they are aviveka. They are not having discriminative. They are ignorant. But Shankaracharya now he makes that, like advocates, they have this style of arguing. So here he takes the tool of argument. He says, Tat Samanya Darshanat. Because there is some similarity. We see similarity with animals. In whom do we see similarity with animal? Vyutpatti matamapi. Even in people with a discriminative faculty. So he said Vyutpanna Chittaha, people who have a cultivated mind or a discriminative mind. Even in such people, we say similarity with the animals. What did we see? That whatever is favorable, we go near that or we use that, and whatever is unfavorable, we run away from that. This is similar to human beings and animals also. So, Purushanam Pratyakshadi Vyavahara. And this similarity we see in human beings in the case of direct perception and other means of knowledge. Tat kalaha samanaha iti nishchiyate. So that is why I am deciding or ascertaining that during that time means what time? During the time of ignorance. That means during the time of tat kalaha. Tat means that, kalaha means time. What? During the time of superimposition. So when a person has not attained knowledge of the Atman, during that time, samanah iti nishchiyate. Animals and human beings and all other beings are all of the same nature. Same nature. So we may think we are intelligent, more intelligent, but we are not. So that can be ascertained. How? We go near whatever is favorable and we run from whatever is unfavorable according to our perception. That is what Shankaracharya has said. Do you have any questions? Anybody has any questions? Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat.